this one. So this is the King's Court. And do you see the King's Court?
Yeah, very cool.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to put this up in my corner, and I'm just going to, this gives a framework, if you will, for for the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. The king, right? So this is the King's Court.
Mm-hmm.
The conscious mind, the king, right? The subconscious mind, the knight, the knight. The superconscious mind, the wizard. So here's a job description. If you can follow that, there's a job description. Each one of these characters, and this is what I like about what Steve has done. He's brought some framework to what I understand naturally and through NLP, neuro linguistic programming, understanding the subconscious mind is, and then the conscious mind, being awake, being aware where you are here now in the present moment, and then that superconscious mind, that something from beyond, something that is greater than, right? Something that is beyond you as the conscious mind. So the subconscious mind, each one of these, each one has a role. And if we understand what their role is, we can help better to have a wonderful, beautiful, happy kingdom, right? And so, uh, so if you, the subconscious mind, its job description, the knight actually brings to the job a predetermined action and behaviors based on existing beliefs, all right, based on pre-existing beliefs that have not yet been approved by the king. So these actions, they'll take place. They won't take place unless the king determines that those actions are no longer needed and it replaces them with other actions. So the knight does 90% of the work within the castle. His job is to know, remember everything that happens, actively control everything that happens within the body. He is the source for all emotions and feelings, and communicates directly to the conscious mind using those emotions and feelings, as well as speech, writing, drawing, physical action, drama, and thought. It is the means by which the conscious mind, the king, perceives experience and acts upon it. The knight obeys orders. He has the ability to make choices in the absence of the king or his direction. It is the source for all mental and physical habits and behaviors, is the receiver and transmitter of all psychic phenomena. It can communicate directly with the wizard. Its prime directive is to grow the kingdom. Its soul, right? Its prime directive is to grow the kingdom. It reasons logically. This subconscious mind, the knight. Clifford, can you hear me okay?
I can. I just had to tell my son I loved him because he said it to me.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Is this making sense so far? As I'm describing this character, the knight, his job, does that make sense?
It makes sense. I feel I would have to hear it 2 more times because it's like 3 times solidify something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so the king, right? The conscious mind, his job description is such. He receives all of the information and gives direction to the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
Has the control of will, has the ability to direct awareness and attention in response to thought or experience. And the king is responsible for finding and fulfilling purpose and meaning in life. So he evaluates and decides worth and the value of things, and seeks to align purpose and meaning with higher ideals. And get this, the king uses love as the basis for evaluating everything. Right? That's the king's job. Now the superconscious, the wizard, right? Its nature is both male and female. It has a parental or guardian spirit. Parental or guardian, it is good for you. Yes, it is. It communicates to both the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. It provides ideas and inspiration, but it does not give orders. The castle cannot exist without the wizard. He is the source of life within the castle, the part of God within the individual. If you let that sink in, the castle can't exist without the wizard. Okay, he's the source of life within the castle, the part of God within the individual, and receives limitless knowledge and guidance from beyond the castle, the part of God that is beyond the individual. This gets really cool. I mean, we can actually do an enactment, and I don't know how much time you have, but I feel like I'm sharing this and reading what these characters are, and then we actually have an example that we can play. Do you want to play with me?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we're playing. Notice how I asked the question. If he didn't want to play, Clifford's going to say, dude, I don't want to play anymore. I'm done. Because that's Clifford. All right. Clifford Starks, my friends, pay attention to him. You can't go wrong. You can't get this wrong. He'll lead you the way. So here we have an example. An army approaches the castle. The stimulus, the army is approaching the castle. The knight's first thought is that the last army I saw approach the castle, killed everyone, and took it over. My job's to enable the kingdom to grow, right, which requires survival. In order to survive, I got to destroy the threat. If I don't do my job, I'm going to dishonor myself, the king, the kingdom, and have to pay the consequences. So the emotion, the feeling that the knight might be feeling at that moment in time, the knight, the subconscious mind, fear, anger, right? The action, the response, right, is the knight attacks the army, defends the castle, destroys all the potential threat, killed everybody. The approaching army is destroyed, right?
Mhm.
Knight did his job. So here's a results analysis of what just happened, right? The army approaches the castle, the result analysis, the knight eliminated the threat, his honor's intact, his mission's accomplished. Now the king, right? The king observes the result and receives counsel from the wizard, the superconscious mind. Number one, the king feels good, right? The castle and the kingdom are safe and they can continue to survive and grow. And two, the king feels bad, right? The king wished to build positive relations with neighboring kingdoms and bring peace throughout the land. Destroying the army prevented that, and it made it more difficult for other kingdoms to trust the king. So he's got these two feelings, right? Good, you feel bad. Those polar opposites we were talking about in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Now, check this out. The army approaches the castle, reprogramming the action of the knight, right? Reprogramming the action of the knight. The king recognizes his bad feeling. He's self-aware. He takes responsibility. He's a good king. He recognizes that in not understanding the pre-programmed response that would be taken by the knight based on his prior experiences, right?
Mhm.
Past experiences, the knight's taken it. Oh man, I didn't see that. Oh, okay. So recognizing that he didn't provide clear direction on how to respond in this if the scenario were to occur. So the king determines the future result and actions to be taken by the knight based on this new information. And he clearly is a good king. He clearly communicates that desired result, what it looks like, how it feels, when they how it's going to feel, look, and feel when they've achieved the results. You know, what are people going to say? It's you can't even put words to that, because what he's really doing in clearly communicating, he's delivering a vision. He's buying into this whole package of a vision for the knight. Has got the vision, he's got a clear understanding, absolutely committed 100% to that, to the king. He's going to take the sword for the king because that's what he does. So now the king orders the knight to take specific actions, reprogram the action, right? The knight is emotionally invested in the king's desired result and takes action accordingly. He follows the king's orders. Now, we've got a revised result. The army approaches the castle. The first thought, it's a weakened first thought, right? But his first thought is still, hey, man, I saw how this killed everyone and it took over. The last time they showed up, my job's to, you know, grow the kingdom, which requires survival. In order to survive, I got to destroy the threat. If I don't do my job, I'll dishonor myself, the kingdom, pay the consequences. Second thought, I don't agree with that thought anymore. And I can see a different outcome that feels good. Right? I have a clear instructions from the king which way I must follow. The emotion, the reprogrammed emotion that that he's going to feel is optimism, excitement for a good outcome, empathy, tolerance, love. Whew. The action, the response that the knight gives, it does not take a defensive posture. He listens and communicates in a positive manner to achieve desired results. He listened to the king. He felt what the king really wanted to experience. And he felt that optimism. He felt that excitement. He felt that. And the knight took that action. And the result, the approaching armies got a good feeling about the knight, the king, and their desired outcome. And so there's peace throughout the land, because the king clearly shared his vision with the knight, but he got his direction and got his wisdom from the wizard. And so putting the king, the knight, and the wizard is, it puts construct for me. It helped me to see the different pieces of me. Um, and I'm so when someone says you're wrong, the stimulus, and this is where I have no idea what the outcome's going to be, but that's why we're just living in the now, living in life. You can't erase this. So someone says you're wrong. The stimulus is you're told you're wrong. The thought, the night, I can't be wrong. That would mean I'm stupid. They think I'm stupid. They think I'm stupid. I can't be wrong. All right, so I'll stop sharing that and we'll come back to my friend Clifford Starks. Thank you for allowing me to share that with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very cool. I like it.
Part of the process. Everybody's got a process of how they relate to things in life. And when I listen to you, I feel the cadence. Like I feel like I feel your heartbeat into pressing into that which is good for me. So I just keep coming back for more, my friend. And that to me is Pono. And that's why I say, Clifford Starks is a Pono pro, man. That's why we point to you. We point to your process. We're just, we're just trying to figure this stuff out along as we go. We're all equal. We all have that equal potential, and we all have that greatness within, as Clifford speaks about. He's a powerhouse, see through. I mean, when you're going to show up and shine a light in the darkness, you're just being that which it is you want to experience. And so I'm just I get to ride on your coattails. Thank you for letting me be part of your movie.
Yeah, I'm glad to be a part of yours. What's super cool is respect to Steve. That's awesome what he put together, and it puts into a visualization. for people to see
Mm,
and interpret and understand. And I remember when you were in town, I was talking about the kinesthetic, the auditory, and the visual, and how when you can combine the two, it's very powerful stuff. And
mm.
so that's essentially what we're doing. Like that's, I guess would say art at its best is when you can get those three together, functioning in the way that they need to function, and it literally does transform an individual. It gives them a transformational experience. So they could be one way, and in the next moment, in a moment, be something completely different.
It's the action you take. Like I'm inspired now to just be doing push-ups. I've been doing yoga for a couple of years,
Hmm.
and that did you know that yoga just means yoke?
I
Did you
didn't
know
know
that?
that.
It does. Yeah,
Mhm.
yoga means yoke. It's and it means discipline. It's your
Mhm.
discipline, whatever discipline it is that you keep coming back to, that you can recognize within yourself your growth, right? I
Mhm.
mean, when you're a little kid, and you're going up to your mom and dad and you're saying, Dad, take it, mark it off on the wall. How tall am I? Am I bigger? And they're coming to reach up. I'm almost to your chin. I'm almost to your chin. And we document this, we mark this on this growth, and that's what that is.
Mhm. Very cool.
So yeah, how much further can you stretch? How much further do you want to stretch? I don't know. There's not a box that contain us, bro. That's the thing. I think when you're at the place where you're just leading by example,
Mhm.
by doing that which it is, being that which it is you want to experience, people can't help but just want to come and get on the bus, get on the train, and we'll figure out where the seat is.
Yeah.
That's up to you. But you know what? The momentum is here. The flywheel is in action, and you know, come on,
Yeah.
take the action, and that's what you are for me. You are a man of action, a man
Mhm.
of absolute passion. You come from the deepest place of your heart with a genuine, a genuine heart for others. That's what makes you so special. You got your own shit out of the way so that you could show up.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
So you could show up, dude. And that's every time, every conversation we have, right there.
Yeah. So I want to thank you and every connection you've ever gotten me a hold of because it's been fun. It's been an absolute blast going through my journey and my experience and sharing those experiences with others. I don't know why I want to tell this story, but I do.
Please.
Oh, mom's yelling for me. Come down here, son. Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to tell a story about him, so it's perfect timing. So my son was acting up yesterday. Yeah, baby boy. My son was acting up, and again, and that. Yes, buddy. I copy you. You copied me? Okay. And I sat him down, right? Gave him the consequence, and I reminded him that I love him. Like I reminded him there's nothing he can do that will not make daddy love him. But there's consequences to everything that we do. Like there's consequences to them. And again, he's a 4-year-old child, so there's levels to that, of course. Like you have to do it within reason, within reason of his capabilities and capacities. But I gave him a hug because I think what people don't realize is when you said I got all my shit out of the way, I know the sooner I can get my shit out of the way, we can all win. Like that's just so it seems like it makes so much sense to just do that early on. And so people will say, like, you have such a big heart, you care about people so much. And those are all true factual things. But the opposite of it, like we will be our own destruction if we don't do those things.
Mm.
So to me, when I look at it, I'm like, well, it only makes the most logical and emotional sense. Like it's for both. It's for the emotional and the logical, the combination of the two, to get our own shit out of the way and know that we can be better than what we are in the moments that we're not at our full potential and our full capacities and capabilities. That's what Awaken the Greatness is all about. It's just like, all I need you to do is feel good about you.
Yeah.
Like, no, well, there's this and there's this. Like, no, I don't care. Like, how do we get you feeling good? Because when you're feeling good, the world just works better.
Yeah, it really does. It's have you ever listened to that guy Jason Silva? Have you ever seen any of his? So he's the host for National Geographic.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty out there. I love his the way he delivers his message. It's just passionate. Anyway, it really draws for those moments of awe. I mean, it's almost in just every last moment has to be dripping with that richness of, to draw us out and make us curious. And the way he delivers that to me is it's something that I guess I'm reaching for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I want to say, okay, who do you want to be, Rick Ely? I want to be mastering me. Delivering, allowing others to stay curious,
Mm-hmm.
and being in that space where you're inviting that curiosity, but allowing yourself to show up continuously, and to where people are emulating that, they are doing that, they are showing up, and it feels good. It does feel good. It feels good when people are living at their highest, at their best, and they're saying, man, thanks for showing the way. Thanks for being that. It gave me permission to do that. And I didn't, you know, you've done the same for me. You've given me permission to think beyond, to think different thoughts, to think better thoughts, to think greater thoughts, even that I held within myself. And we're all powerhouses. I mean, we really are. And so when we see and recognize that within one another at such a deep level, with us, we can play on the surface and we can go deep, but we recognize too that it's not about us.
Yeah.
It's not about us. It's that honeycomb.
Yeah. Well, just off of what you said, saying it is about us because you use us. Like, and I know you're saying it's not about us as in it's not about me.
Yeah. It
But
is about us.
yeah, that's the thing, is it is about us. It's not. And I remember when I was talking with the speaking coach, because here's the thing, I'll always listen in to my mentors and to my coaches, but I challenge things too. I'm not as simple as just like, oh, well, because they said it's right and that's what I need to do and I need to do it this way, because no, you have to listen, but it doesn't mean you have to take it in, or you can choose to take it in. You get a choice. What I look at is the reason it's easier for people to say it's about my audience, it's all about my audience, it's not about me. It gives people the strength to move forward. But there's a part further than that. Because if you just make it about your audience all the time, for instance, you were saying, I don't know if you're going live every day. Well, it depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
It's about me showing up for me and me showing up for them as well. It goes both ways. That's the same thing as a relationship. So although you are the servant, you are also the master. You are both. And
Well,
if you don't do both, you're in trouble.
and that's where I kind of that King's Court gave reference for me, because we're all kings, we're all queens, and we're all royalty, and it's there's equality. There is the we all have equal potential within us, And we have a personal responsibility to, if we want to be, do, or have something greater than what we are experiencing now, is to take the action in doing it. And well, you inspire to take action. So I guess that's why I get to hang around you, that and your good heart, a whole bunch of other stuff. But, we got a lifetime to do this stuff. It's not like we got to cram it all in one day, and we get to teach, be that. Stay in the flow, stay in life's flow. When you are making it look easy, it's because it is.
Yeah, I don't think it gets any better than that. That's the truth. I say things are hard until they're easy. Whatever you choose to practice.
Yeah. Thank you, Clifford. How may I know what I'm doing. Oh, brother, here we go. Steve's jumping in. Yeah. Brother, you realize we are Steve. Here he comes.
Hey. Hey, Clifford.
Hey, Steve. How you doing, brother?
Good. Sorry, I got your message late and I was having internet troubles trying to connect, so I was just catching the tail end.
We're live in PonoQuest.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. I see you're talking King's Court.
Yeah.
You're the creator. You're the master creator of the King's Court. I'm just sharing your beautiful vision, and we were putting it into pieces and having this conversation. I'm glad you were watching. Thanks.
Nice.
I was not paying attention. What do you have to add, my friend?
I missed everything, so I'm not sure what all you guys covered. I was just going to be a fly on the wall here, but yeah, I'm looking forward to actually putting that out, and it's going to actually be a lesson in the PonoQuest because it's just going to be too long for a generic post. But I'll do some little posts that talk around that a little bit. But for me, it gives me a really good visual. And to think when we talk about our mind, everybody thinks, the mind makes me feel these emotions. The mind analyzes all of these things. And if we think of it as one thing, then it's really hard to make sense out of the communications that are going on. And by separating it out into using the analogy into different entities, it's much easier then to understand what the communication is going on and who's responsible for the communication. Is it the analytical mind? Is it the subconscious mind? Or am I just getting a feeling? Is it an intuition, a gut instinct? And it's important to know how to listen to those. And when you understand the roles, then you can take that information and your analytical mind can use it appropriately for whatever goal it is that you're trying to achieve. So I hope it helps other people. Everybody thinks differently, but for me, the analogy works.
Love it.
Well, I just got passionate about reading it, so.
He jumps online and says, let's do a webinar.
Why not? I mean, that's just how we roll.
No, that's good.
That's the amount of trust that I have in my friends.
Yeah. So now I need to hurry up and do that little video, don't I? Because if people jump into PonoQuest, they're going to want to get access to that. So
because I'm going to have to, give a little clip or something. I mean, this is some meat, dude. This is like the golden nuggets, the meat and the potato. This is the good stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's, coaching people over the years, there is a foundation that needs to be established. Otherwise, all the work that you're doing, you're kind of spinning wheels or shooting a shotgun. And if you can establish the foundation and educate people about what they're feeling and what they're thinking and where it's coming from, it's much easier for them to progress. Like I was telling Rick earlier, Cliff, was somebody was on Facebook and they were saying, hey, how do I get motivated to go do my workouts? And I was saying, well, your initial issue is relying on motivation to go do your workouts. And the comment I made to her was, do you need to get motivated to brush your teeth? No, yeah. There's a benefit and you focus on that benefit. And then you do that, enables you to do it every day. So this willpower people talk about, it should be more effortless than what it is. Not that you don't have to bear down and develop a habit, but if you really focus on the benefits and why you're doing it, then the willpower kind of handles itself. You're going to develop that drive because you're focused on those benefits.
100%. Reminds me of taking cold showers. Like, no one just jumps in to take a cold shower. Like, if you think I'm just doing that just to do it, You lost your damn mind. There's
Totally.
reasons behind it. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
reasons behind it.
Yeah, been there, done that. and again, that's the first thing that goes through your mind is, why am I doing this again? And if you don't have a good enough reason, you're going to jump right out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
Rick knows that my two boys are training to try to go to PJ school, the pararescue jumpers.
Okay.
And their whole process is about weeding the people out that don't have a big enough why. It's so physically brutal and demanding, and the training that you have to do just to start the course is very demanding. And I keep having to remind the kids, you got to remember why you're doing it. Why are you doing it? What is it you see at the end? Is it putting the maroon beret on and having all of these generals around there, saying, hey, good job? Is it the fact that you're gonna be able to save lives and you want to be prepared? What is the why? And young kids, it's hard to help them with that, but we as adults, we need to get good at it pretty quickly.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I like that. I do like how they test them to see how their why is. I think we've talked about it before, making it about a who, right? Because everything we do, everything we say is conditioning someone some way, whether it's positive or negative. So for instance, if I tell my son, like, yeah, you can do this. Yeah, you can do this. I believe in you. And this is why I believe in you. I've seen, what about this person, this person, this person, and this person did this. And you just constantly feeding that thing, feeding that process, so that when tough times do come, they feel like they're bigger than the times that are presented in front of them.
Yep, totally. And is it the same for everybody? If we use a term why or a term who, is that critical? No, I remember training our dog when we first got one of our dogs, and we were having to do the training, and I dive into all the books, and the thing that they said is, find out what your dog's currency is. What is it that motivates that dog? What is their why and what is their who? And it's different for everybody. So like somebody that's seeking, parental approval, might have a firstborn son who wants dad's approval. Just like you said, if the dad is saying, hey, I'm so proud of you, they're doing that for some approval. You know what I mean? And they can use that to their advantage. That's not a negative thing necessarily if they're getting a good result out of it. So yeah, totally agree. Sometimes people argue about terminology, and we're really talking the same thing, right?
I agree. I 100% agree. And yeah, people look at the semantics of things and pick apart the message and not realizing these are messages that have been going on forever. Like I even look at, really? I'll get it out in a sec, buddy. The principles.
Yeah.
And I say there's certain principles and foundations that you can have, like they're timeless. Like they don't change. Whether it's in religion, spiritually, the universe, transformation, the principles are timeless. Now the tactics may change, and that might like, oh, well, maybe if we do it this way, or we try it this way, or let's try this strategy. But the principles are timeless, and you build them with the foundations of those principles.
Yep.
And that's like even being a healthy masculine or a healthy feminine, right? Coming together to build up the next generation. I feel like each piece is a part to the puzzle, which is kind of like what you're talking about with the round table too. That's what I got from it.
Yeah. And Pono Quest in general, people keep asking us, what is it that we do? And, we might have different variations depending on how we feel, but it really kind of like what you just said, it's educating people on those things that are timeless, right? And then also providing the strategies and tactics. I think that's a really good way. In fact, I had a website called Stratactical Life one time, because that's how I look at it, is we just are teaching methods to help you follow that timeless path.
I like it.
It's Pono.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, even with what you're saying too, we're trying to get some popcorn out of this piece.
True life balance right there.
Yes.
I love it.
Next thing you know, the contractor's going to be knocking on your door to put the solar up on your Rough.
There you go.
You want to swig it? Do you want to swig? You want to do some mouthwash? Okay. So just off of what you were saying, Steve, with the strategies and the tactics, after I do something, I'm always looking to improve that thing. So the book that I wrote, there's timeless principles in that book, but I have tactics in that book too that help people move forward. And I also give them the option to come into my Facebook group so that they will have that available to them on a regular basis. But I want to create something else. Come here, baby boy. We don't have any mouthwash. I want to create something. I almost want to do like a volume. Okay, we're going to brush your teeth. I'm going to do a volume series that gives people more of what they're looking for. Kind of like I see the round table being a consistent transformational piece too. Like, that's really, really cool what you did. And it looks like you put a lot of thought and effort into that. And so respect for Rick sharing that with me.
Did you show it to him, Rick?
This is
Oh,
my
I did it live.
Oh, did you? Okay, cool.
In this video that I'm recording, we are creating the content today. We are live in Pono Quest today. I unveiled the King's Court, your King's Court. We're all kings and queens here, but I took everything that you gave me and I shared it with him ad lib, and I put my own little magic
twist
in there.
Yeah, and I didn't get the last page done yet, so you might have gotten there. So what is this?
But that's the cliffhanger. That's what we did. That was the cliffhanger. That's it.
No, and
it's it.
I was working on it when I saw the little thing from Rick saying, "Hey, join us." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm not done yet."
Oh, here you go. Here you go. Because I'm gonna give it to you right here. Because this is. I'll even share my screen. Because this is the cliffhanger. When someone says
what I'm
you're
doing.
Wrong.
Yeah. So what I'm doing, Cliff, is essentially taking the analogy and then trying to give it real life scenarios. You know, what's a real life situation, and then use the analogy as far as how the mind works and run through that process, because this is what we need to do every day. You know, when we are aware and we recognize a reaction or a response that we had that it gives us a bad feeling, you got to run through this scenario and this process so you can reprogram the mind to respond correctly. And so I wanted to give a couple scenarios for that. That's what that's for. By the way, before I forget, I did read your book. Awesome book. So if anybody's listening to this, get his book and read it.
Absolutely.
Worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So what's super cool too is giving it those scenarios, right? And understanding, man, it's really cool what you got, Steve. Like that thing's gonna blow up, and a lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of people are gonna feel what you're looking at, because it's a combination of the visual, like being able to see it, and not only see it, they'll feel it too. And Rick was asking me about it, and I said I need to go through something 3 times to really let it grasp and stick in completely. But I could feel what he was saying. You know, I could completely feel it. And so,
that's like resonance.
See. Oh yeah, yeah. Resonance. It's gonna be really, really cool. And I like the 3, the wizard, the knight, and the king. That was really cool too.
There's more characters that we can add, but for simplicity, I wanted to stick with the 3.
Yeah. Well, there's a book, I can't remember the name, and it talks about certain archetypes. And it says that you go through a transition. So basically, even going from child to man or woman, and how you basically have to go through a process to understand those pieces. Then there's another thing that I read up. It's called A Whack on the Side of the Head. And it focuses on soft thinking and hard thinking. So soft thinking meaning pliable, and hard thinking rigid. And knowing the importance of both, and how to use both together. And that's kind of what went through with, there's a storyline, this happened, this consequence happened, so then it responded this way, versus we can change the outcome and the result with just the right perception. Like, that's so powerful. And some people will get that right away. Some people not so much. Some people will take them a lot longer, and some people never get it at all.
That's what we were talking about early in the conversation. Is it at this place where we are? So many people have not had those experiences, and when we're speaking, the last thing I want to ever feel is invited into a room with 4 people, and I don't feel equal. Right? So talk about Pono. What is Pono? Pono is being right with oneself, right with others, right with the environment. The environment that you're in, you feel right, you feel good, you feel resonance. And that is, you take that presence with you everywhere you go. You can remain that in a room with whatever the resonance in the room is, where you are vibrating at. You talked about vibration, what we're teaching. You can hold that light without diminishing any of it. And receive the feedback and use it to your advantage. So you can be the knight, you can be the king, and tap into the wizard, something that is much greater than oneself. And allow that to flow through you. So that's what I got from it. I don't know much more. So, my 2 cents. Love you guys. Thank you.
No, it was perfect, Rick. I'm going through